Hey, coming, 3, 2, 1. Facebook guys, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? Happy Friday. Yes, I'm on Friday, Meatball. It's because I'm here. That's why. I couldn't follow through with Kurt last night. I apologize, but I'm going to post a plug for Kurt. Actually developed a new channel for me and other commentators on his network to separate us from his political channel there. So we're gonna have our own little channel. I'm gonna get the plug for it. It was just launched last night. He sent me the link to it. I'll put it on my page, and there you're gonna see all different kinds of opinions and commentators on personal growth, everything, every facet of human behavior, and it's phenomenal. I'm really excited for him. I'm happy for him, but I'm also happy for me, because today is Friday the 13th for all you psycho superstitious, not in a bad way, I'm being facetious here, but it's National Blame Someone Else Day. Okay, great. That's usually what people do, sadly now. It's when you take full responsibility is when you create your ability in life. And that was a hard thing to learn, because a reel caught my eye, actually yesterday, caught my eye. I said, oh my God, I got to do a show on this, because it'll really help people understand how far we've come. But the medical field is saying, no, you're going to stay right here, Meatball, just the way we set it up. And to digress for a second here, there was a friend of mine years ago. She was a head nurse for one of the biggest hospital chains. Now they're actually chains now, here in Connecticut. And they had a Q&A with the CEO of the hospital. They all got but it wasn't a Q&A. The CEO asked the people questions, and they responded, which was quite fascinating. But the CEO asked my friend, he asked her, he goes, why are you here? Well, why do you love what you do? And she answered, she was a head nurse. She answered, because we can take care of people, make them better, and keep their lives longer. You know, I'm just paraphrasing here, mind you. He said, no, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. We are here to make money. So that's totally understandable. You know, she does very well for herself. You know, she makes bank. All right, God bless her. You drive by any hospital now. I mean, 30 years ago, hospital was a hospital. It wasn't hospitals, a campus, literally with acreages of offices and ornate buildings everywhere and statues and this and that. It wasn't like that. It was an actual field of medicine. Now it's preferably a business, if you want to call it that. And mind you, it's my own humble opinion. There's a lot of people out there that are sick and getting great help. Indeed, don't get me wrong. I mean, but everybody's here to make money, I guess, some way, and that's what they do. Our job with what I love to do, I'm here to make psychology sexy, literally, because if you understand how the mind works, it will keep you out of those hospitals. It will keep you away from the doctor as much as possible, and that's the point. We want to keep ourselves healthy mentally, which starts in the mind, then goes physically, but most importantly, spiritually. And how do you do that? Edify yourself and understand who you are as a person. You know, to me, yeah, I get it. You know, honestly, I really don't want to see a doctor unless my guts are coming out. Otherwise, leave me alone. I'm good. You know what I mean? Or infection or something like that, per se. But what I have for you, I want to share with you guys. It may sound boring, but there's a real dialogue to this. And it will truly make sense for you, for those who have gone to psychiatrists and therapy and done that whole 9 yards thing. Granted, I went once. I went once 35 years ago. I was really upset with myself, and I made an appointment. Back then it was easy to make an appointment. You kind of go in. I made an appointment with the town psychiatrist. I wanted to quit smoking, and I was getting really frustrated because I was trying. And I go in his office, and I sit down, and yeah, there's a couch there. Yeah, they have couches in there. It was pretty funny. I started laughing. I wasn't mocking the guy, but I wanted to get some answers, because back then the internet wasn't big. I mean, you couldn't really find what you find now, which which is perplexing to me because all your answers are basically online. You can literally, you don't got to go to a library anymore. You don't have to go to the index cards anymore. Everything's at your fingertips to learn, know, and grow, and indeed make yourself sexy by edifying yourself in how the mind works. Because I mean, knowledge is power, but it's also potential power. Because if you don't use the knowledge, it becomes basically obsolete. Back to my story. Walked in his office. And I asked him, I said, is smoking psychologically related? I remember the question vividly. He said, no, it's all physical. Everything about your problems is physical. And I said, okay, that's fine, thanks. Is there any medicine for it? He goes, no. I said, okay. That was it, and I left. It literally was a 5-minute visit. And from there, I said, I will never go back to another one again. Because, I mean, to me, I could have answered that my own question by going to a library, but I would have got different perspectives on it. And those perspectives were three gentlemen, 3 icons. One was very well known, that is basically followed by the medical field today. One is an icon in his own right that the self-help New Age follow, and one proved one wrong, which is quite ironic. Here we go. Let's start with the first one here. And it all started, like I said, with the reel. The reel stated, what if the mental crisis exists because we followed the wrong guy? I said, that title is beautiful. That title is brilliant. Because the first depiction from that reel was Sigmund Freud. And a lot of you guys, I've spoken about Sigmund's quotes, which are powerful, mind you. But his belief system is the reason why we have the psychiatry and psychology system that we have in place today. It's, in essence, it's made to keep us going back. It's like a crack house for the mind. It's set up where you have to go there. I'm going to explain his beliefs. And hear me out, because it makes sense. Because now it's with the law of attraction, the law of the universe expanding out there, the next gentleman that I mentioned here is going to completely and utterly make sense in your life and why it's shifting. But Sigmund Freud, 1856 to 1993, an icon in the field of psychology and psychoanalysis. He developed all these things that the medical field basically built itself around by treating mental health. His model is everything about your childhood and trauma, hence your experiences. Healing means going back and reliving every moment. And I asked myself, how can you heal when you keep living back there? How can you heal when you keep reliving what hurt you? I get the whole recognizing of it and realizing it. And my heroes were the World War II vets who came home. I mean, these guys didn't play around. Through all the chaos and the blood and the guts that they experienced, they came home and built half this friggin' nation in 2 decades. Literally expanded it. That just tells you what he was saying was absolutely and utterly wrong. Granted, it may work for some people, but everybody I know, not on a personal level, but a basic definition of them, that they go to therapy every week, it's going on a decade or 2. And just tells you what they're doing. They're not progressing. They're going backwards. And the next gentleman on here, which is beautiful, you don't really hear about this guy. And the third one you never hear about. And that's why I love bringing stuff like this on to America's Mentor, because we're going to make psychology sexy again. Alfred Adler. Most of you guys probably haven't heard of this gentleman. I have, and indeed I love his work. And found him basically by accident. And these two guys, he was 1870 to 1937. They were almost the same age. I think, Freud had about 10 years on him. He had a 10-year head start to being born from him. But he was, Adler was the founder of the School of Individual Psychology. He graduated from the University of Vienna. He was a European psychologist, a medical doctor, and psychiatrist. This guy, I mean, think about it. His theory on psychology and psychiatry was, why are you going back when you can think your way forward? And that isn't very keen with the medical field, because if you know how to solve the problem, you're not going to go back. So why would they teach you how to solve the problem, is my point. They want to keep you coming back. It's not health care anymore, it's sick care. So basically they just keep kind of pushing you along through the system. And mind you, it's my own opinion. And granted, I love the healthcare field. I mean, they've come so far in what we're doing, and I'm being honest here about it. I get it, but I also know it's a business. But our job is to stay out of it. We should not be going to the doctor. Our bodies were made in the most amazing way to heal itself from every facet. But medications have changed that whole dynamic now, because basically you're getting a pill with a side effect to get another pill to cure that side effect, which another pill needs to cure that side effect. So it's basically, it's a system set up to keep you sick in a lot of ways. What I'm saying is, when you understand how the mind works, and when you start understanding how the electronic switching station, that little lobe between your left and right ear, monitors everything, you'll realize where you're going. You'll realize that a change of thought is a change of life. A change of belief is a change of thinking patterns that will make you feel better again. And when you guys realize what Adler did, he focused, which was brilliant. I loved it. He focused on goals and moving forward and not reliving the past, but creating a new future to store the past, to understand it, understand what you went through, but stop going back there. And stop putting yourself in those kind of positions. So I can go on and on about Adler, but you guys get the point. I'm trying to be as terse as possible, setting this up for you guys to realize there was one guy who believed in one way and one guy believed another way. The medical field said, wait, the second guy we're not going to really benefit from, because people are going to help themselves. And they're not going to want to come and see us. So we better keep the Freud way. It's like the Darwin theory was kind of debunked later on by people who understood, no, we're not that way. You go from Newton to Darwin on up. This is the beauty about science, because they kept experimenting and kept working with all these situations to modify them as they learn more. And this gentleman, the third one, you guys never heard of. He came 10 years after the deaths of Freud and Adler. I'm going to introduce you guys, and this is going to make a whole lot of sense, because I'm going to introduce you to Donald Hebb. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, because I never did until 3 years ago when I started studying him. But first, I'm getting to the quote box tonight, because what he states is going to make sense. Out of the quote box tonight, the story you tell yourself is the life you bring to yourself. Kind of sounds like Adler, huh? Kind of sounds like what I'm preaching and bitching every night here on America's Mentor. Story is an account of imaginary or real experiences, hence tale or history. The story you tell yourself is your life every day. So the good thing is, like I said, imaginary or real experiences, those kind of thoughts, whatever you're creating between the left and right ear, are going to metastasize throughout your body, in feelings and emotions and your passion about life in general. You keep telling the same story of the shit you went through, you're just going to keep creating more shit to go through. Does that make sense? Here we go. Actor. You got to be the actor of that story. If you guys, I'll get to my point here. This is a great point. I'll get to Donald Hebb. If you guys saw The Shining with Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, I didn't watch the whole movie because it scared the shit out of me. I couldn't do it. But I saw behind the scenes, because later on YouTube, they were showing behind the scenes. And here's Johnny, the iconic axe Jack through the door with the head, here's Johnny. I mean, they had, as Jack was getting ready for the scene, he had the axe in his hand. And for 10 minutes, he went ballistic on the set, put himself into state, and then went up to the door and bashed right through it. What he did, and the camera guy just said, just start rolling, who gives a shit, let Jack do his thing. He was acting the part. And look what it did. It became an iconic image in the film industry because he mastered how to act the part. This is what I'm talking about as far as your story. You become a master of going backwards, or you become a master of moving forward. Whatever story you put yourself in every day, you're going to start realizing what you're attracting every day. Now, I'm talking a lot tonight, Meatball. I got to get to my point here. Donald Hebb. Donald Hebb, 1949, that this gentleman was born. He is the inventor of Hebb's Law. Hebb's Law goes right between the left and right ear, right to that electronic switching station that we call neurons, or neutrons, if you want to call them that as well. Neurons is that, he made an amazing quote, neurons that fire together, wire together. What does that mean? We have 86 billion neurons between our left and right ear, with over 100 trillion connections of those throughout everywhere in our body. What those neurons do is they send out messages to the muscles, the glands, and all. It all starts with thinking and emotion. These guys are like little spark plugs, and we have them everywhere, but the majority is the 86 between our left and right ear. These guys are hard at work, and what they do is they grow together with thought patterns. Now, they call it neural pathways in the physical sense. They call it neural pathways. So the more you think about something, these guys are all connecting to make a direct contact with the emotions, the muscles, the glands to react what you're thinking about. What does that mean? If you think that you're ugly, if you think about that all day long and you feel ugly, you're going to start looking ugly. Things are going to start happening in your life. That's what these guys do. If you saw the Minions, I did with my kids many moons ago, and there was one movie, I think it was Minions #2, where the King Minion was standing on the hilltop, and he was yelling to all these guys in his gibberish. And throughout the hillside, all you saw was little yellow heads. That's what neurons are doing. But they need somebody to be a conductor of this electronic switching station. That is us, our thoughts, our choices, and our decisions that we make every day on a repetitive level that trigger these little bitches, that trigger them to do their magic. They can create or destroy. This is like your physical karma between your left and right ear. These guys, whatever you're thinking about, they light up. Okay, fine. He's thinking about how great his day is. Let's create the chemicals and send it out to all the areas of the body. It's your director. But they need a CEO of that. And we're the CEO. We are the master of our mind. That's why I'm making psychology sexy, because it's really powerful to be in control. It's an amazing feeling to have this. I'm going to go through exactly what neurons are really quickly. I'll let you guys enjoy your Friday night. This is called brain plasticity, and that's a lot of syllables. And if you got a lisp here, you're in a lot of trouble. When neurons repeatedly fire together, the connection between them strengthens. How does that start? With thought. A repetitive thought on how great life is creates a superhighway to your emotional well-being. And if you keep doing that every day, the body starts catching up. You keep doing that all the time, reality starts molding around that, because your aura, hence your energy, from all these little spark plugs are emitting all around you. It's been proven now that the energy is all around us, leaving our body continuously, connecting with other matching energies, hence the law of attraction. So what Donald Hebb did, and I did that in that short depiction, was clarify exactly what Adler was talking about. You can't get over the past by focusing on it. To get over the past, you store it, recognize it, but you have to create something to replace it. You have to create a future that is better than where you've been. And live in that every day, first in thought, then in feeling. Most importantly, feeling. And you're going to start creating the reality around that, because the laws of the universe that were already in place, that we already have in place now, needs a conductor. It needs somebody to tell it what to do. And that is us. That's why you become the master of your mind, by controlling all these little facets of us to keep us healthy, to keep us well, to keep us having this purposeful life, by us depicting it every day. How do you do it? That's why they have affirmations. What you tell yourself is what you bring to yourself. That's why I journal every day. I'm writing a story. I'm the actor in this play that I write every day of who and what kind of day I'm going to have. As I mentioned in the last show, I've never been disappointed. It's because of the way I've been conditioned. you guys got to understand for yourself how this mechanism between your left and right ear works. You're going to solve all your problems. You're not going to need a so-called psychiatrist anymore. All you're going to need is information to understand how to control the electronic switching station that there's 86 billion of these little bitches waiting for direction. When you realize how to use the tool becomes a power tool. That's the whole point. I always state when I post online a mental power tool. We have a toolbox. And the more we put in there, I got a older brother, he's a gearhead. I can only imagine the friggin' toolbox he has. Hundreds of tools in there. Me, I never liked the shit. I wasn't never into automotive. I tried it, totally wrecked the cars I worked on, but he had hundreds of tools, and he took a lot of pride in them. A mental power tool is your safety net. It's understanding that you have complete control of this life by your pure thought about it and not choosing to go back where you were. Because you don't live there anymore. When you start realizing where you're living, where you reside in every day with your thoughts and your feelings, you realize what life is giving you. If you live in a lack mindset, you can only create more lack in your life in every facet. If you live in a prosperous feeling about life, having a sense of gratitude about life, you're going to create that. That's what Hebb's Law is. It's telling you, say, look, you got all this information here. All you have to do is tell it what to do. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. In a short sense, if you guys want to do the research for yourself and understand Hebb's Law and Adler in general, please do it for yourself. But I'll finish with this. The basic fundamentals, I'll let you guys enjoy your Friday, of neurons are the fundamental units of the nervous system. These guys are the nervous system in motion. And thought and feeling, guess what? Is your state of being. That's your creation force. Neurons are the fundamental units of the nervous system responsible for receiving, processing, transmitting information throughout the body. They achieve this by using both electrical and chemical signals to communicate with the body in general. Guys, if you want to do the research for yourself about how powerful you truly are on the inside and start understanding that what has happened to you, yes, indeed, it's a lesson. And realize there's a blessing in the lesson if you take it as a blessing, because it's saying, wait, don't do that anymore. Don't touch the hot stove anymore. There's a better outlook in your life, but it all starts with your train of thought, your habitual thinking every day to get these guys in motion the right way, to create the life that you want by just focusing on a purpose that you want to create. A lot of us don't have that feeling. A lot of us, I'm getting bored. If you're not working towards something, when you stop living, you start dying. I'm here to say, look, make psychology sexy, be empowered by who you are, and move forward with whatever you're doing with the greatest passion, because you're going to attract more things to match that. That's the whole point about this. You don't have to live where you were. I gave it up a long time ago. And I can tell you honestly, from a physical, spiritual, mental, financial, everything increased as a result because of my outlook increased on life. Not because I was doing more. I'm still doing exactly the same amount of hours, which I work a lot, which I love to do. But more things in my favor are happening compared to what was happening before when I was working the same way, but with a shitty attitude about life, a rotten perspective, no goals, no intention. And I said, okay, let's just take more and take more and take more away from you. That's what I couldn't understand. I just pointed my magnet in a different direction. That's all neurons do. It's your mental spark plug. 86 billion of them between your left and right ear, waiting for you to tell them what to do. And from there, they take charge, man. That's the great thing about being a CEO. You're sending out the memo every day with your intention and your assumptions about life, with your thoughts and your feelings. And these guys take over from there. They create the spark, the aura around us in every facet of our life. It'll keep you healthy. It'll keep you well. It'll keep you happy. But you got to be the CEO of every thought every day. And you start realizing what you're attracting every day. So hopefully this little lesson helped you guys. I'm on a quest now, man. We're gonna make psychology sexy here in America. We're gonna keep everybody happy, guys. America's Mentor _radio on Instagram, at America's Mentor on X. Guys, please follow me. I just got the analytics from YouTube. 78,000 views. I mean, in the last several months, you guys are out of bounds. Much friggin' love to you guys. Look up these guys, Adler, Freud. Do the research. I'm here not to pass the torch. I'm just here to open the first chapter of the book. You guys look into it. If you're really into stopping the friggin' chaos in your life and moving forward with a prosperous mindset, an abundant mindset, watch how life starts to reflect that, because our thoughts are just a mirror of what's about to come. Guys, enjoy your Friday, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon, man.